one of the hottest debates of the month in the Dispatch universe. It's Blonde Blazer versus Wait, where'd you go?
Feel bad. Good.
Invisigal! Two women who have no idea how knockoff Iron Man III is pulling, but we're doing it! Mostly. Alright, so I'll be skipping the whole backstory of the game, so if you want to go see that, go check out my other video. But we all know that the internet can't stop fighting over who is the better romance option, Blazer or Visi. Much like two dogs going after the same bone, I think we're ignoring the obvious solution here. Malevola. Just kidding. I mean, if we could romance both of them, or all the cast, or whoever, I feel like we totally would, but unfortunately, we haven't seen any updates on that yet. And so, instead of telling you that there's only one right option, I'm gonna go over why both choices are perfect for Robert. First, some background. Blonde Blazer, aka Mandy, is basically the poster woman for supers. Shroud even calls her one of the few true heroes left in the superhero universe, and it's easy to see why. Blonde Blazer has all the traits that make a superhero super. Strength, flight, aura, charisma, she's got it all. She's so perfect, the internet itself didn't even trust that she wasn't secretly on Shroud's side or secretly evil. You've seen the memes, get those apology letters in. She is the one who brings in Robert to head the Phoenix program, one of the teams that she is in charge of. On the flip side, we also know that she actually relies on her amulet for her powers, and that she's just another normie like Robert without it. She suffers from strong imposter syndrome, and it becomes clear that she feels like she's putting on an act as a superhero at times, and hides her identity from the masses. As for Visi, aka Courtney, she joins the Z team after a long stretch of criminal behavior, and seeks to turn her life around as a hero for SDN. While she believes that her powers make her suited only for villain work, and she can't seem to shake free from the feeling that she doesn't deserve to be happy after screwing things up over and over again, we think that she has a real chance at turning her life around. Unfiltered and impulsive, she often gets herself into trouble, but throughout the game, she shows us that her heart is at least in the right place. Invisigal represents the exact kind of person that Robert is there to help, and while she struggles to free herself from her past, butting heads with Robert is exactly what she needs to be able to free herself from that and be better for the future. So what are their roles in the story? Blazer is a parallel for Robert in many ways. She is here to show us that we are not alone and that there are others out there who share our same struggles and our same insecurities. We're all out here doing the best we can with whatever tools we can get our hands on, and whether it's a mumbo-jumbo magical amulet or a hunk of metal passed down by our dads, she recognizes herself in Robert, and that's why she offers him a job in the first place. In a roundabout way, she wants to believe that even without the suit, Robert is still a hero, because she has those same doubts about her own Mandy persona, and it's always easier to believe in someone else than it is to believe in you. Thankfully, Robert can give that right back, and that's why their friendship felt so genuine and deep even if you didn't romance her. They share similar goals, values, and struggles, and still push forward despite the obstacles in their way. Mandy shows Robert that he is not the only one who is struggling to be super as a normie in the superhero world, and I love how when we're asked who Robert is without the suit, we're able to answer that he is a badass hero throughout the game. I mean, how many heroes do you know just bite someone's finger off in a bar fight? And Mandy can learn the same lesson just by seeing Robert prove this is true right in front of her. Visi, on the other hand, serves as a foil to Robert. Whereas Robert was born powerless to a legacy of superheroes, Visi was likely raised to believe her powers could only be used for villainy. While he grew up sacrificing his social, financial, and physical well-being to continue being the hero Mecha Man, Visi committed assault, larceny, and robbery as a criminal, really only looking out for herself. At the same time, they are very similar in other ways. Visi isolates herself, mostly because she rejects getting close to anyone with fear of showing her true self, and having to take accountability for her own actions instead of blaming fate or the world for the things that she does. Similarly, despite being a hero, Robert lives a very lonely life. His barren apartment and his lack of material objects underscore his willingness to give up everything to be a hero. He has clung onto that belief because his family was in the hero business, and he didn't have any other choice, he thinks, except to become the next Mecha Man. This leads us to the importance of the housewarming party, and plays a vital role in shifting his perspective. When Malevola, Visi, and Royd first show up at Robert's place, Malevola brings in a chandelier. When Robert questions this, Visi mentions offhand that she just told everyone to bring a lamp or something as a housewarming gift. This is anything but a meaningless object though. His previously bare apartment suddenly gets brighter and brighter, symbolizing all the new people illuminating his life and showing him that he has the ability to do good even outside of the Mecha Man suit. Both Blazer and Visi represent two sides of the same coin when it comes to conveying the point that you can break free of others' expectations of you and find a place where you feel like you truly belong. So either person we choose, we essentially learn the same lesson along the way. Something I've seen a misconception around is that when Visi says she wants us to look at her like we look at Blazer in the locker room, she doesn't necessarily mean in a romantic way, because we can get that line whether we romanced her or not. What she means here is to be seen as a hero, with admiration and unwavering faith that they are a good person. That's why the achievement we get is succeeded as a mentor at the end, and it doesn't require us to be in a relationship with her, because really what we're doing for Visi here is we're trying to help her see herself as a hero instead of worrying about how other people see her. I think in reality, Visi wants to be more like the superhero that the world sees in Blazer, and Blazer really wishes she could live more true to herself like Visi, and this is kind of the interesting contrast the two romance options share. To go into their actual roots a bit, I think one of the main gripes that people have against Blonde Blazer is that it kind of starts off on a rocky foot. I'm sure people picked up on the fact that Blazer was kind of throwing signs out there that she liked Robert a little more than HR would have liked, and our lives definitely flashed before our eyes when we found out she was still in a relationship with Phenomenon. I didn't get the comic books, but I heard that people were saying that she felt very much on the way out of that relationship, however, especially when he said that he only really liked Blazer and didn't feel connected to any humans that same way. And we obviously know that Blonde Blazer wouldn't really like that because she also is Mandy. And so she really wants someone in the relationship who can see her for both Blazer and Mandy and accept both sides of her. Honestly, if we find any background on how they got together in the first place, I would love to see that, because I kind of feel like it was one of those Superman should be with Superwoman kind of things, and I'm sure Mandy would be the kind of person to just kind of go along with it at first and not really listen to her own feelings on the matter. Thankfully, I think a lot of her arc in the game was to accept herself for both sides of her as well, as much as not wanting to be judged by other people by that same standard. I do wish we had more scenes with Blazer so we could see how the romance and the relationships she has with the other Z-teamers kind of gets fleshed out. But as we know, someone over there was a little too busy being self-destructive and maybe working for Shroud for us to really go into that too much, so you know how that goes. Visi's route, however, is a bit more straightforward. She seems to end up liking Robert no matter what, and definitely gets visibly hurt if we start choosing Blazer over her. This definitely plays into her insecurities and jealousy over the kinds of people that they both represent. Note that it may feel like the developers are guilt-tripping us to choose Visi over Blazer, but I think in truth they're simply showing us how sensitive Visi was and her insecurity of not feeling like she deserved love from those around her. The housewarming scene especially is a great example of the micro-expressions that Adhoc can create, and it kind of shows us the cracks in her armor and how she truly desires that connection. A fun fact is that while her original ability is Lone Wolf, which speeds up her response time when she's sent on a mission alone, her trained power is actually Collaborative, which allows everyone who goes with her to gain double XP. I think that speaks volumes to the two sides of her personality. So to wrap up some thoughts, I do think both of them get their time to shine in the game at different points. Blazer actually makes a huge comeback after being backseated a bit in the middle episodes, but she starts aura farming hard when she busts into the villain bar to confront the Red Ring, and you saw her power up. Even Shroud respects her enough to pistol whip Sonar if he's there instead of Coop, if that tells you anything about her reputation in the game. She's obviously very OP in a fight, but she's also willing to sacrifice her own powers in times of need. For example, with Chase, she gave him the amulet so he could not only survive, but deal a very critical blow against Shroud in the finale. This is yet another unknown that Shroud was not able to predict because he didn't know about the amulet and neither did most of the team, and only Robert knew if we chose to go her route. This is quite significant because she is choosing now to give up her powers for the foreseeable future while we find a solution for Chase's old age, so she'll have to function as Mandy instead until they find a way to get Chase's life back. A little side theory here, if they actually turn Blonde Blazer into the new dispatcher for Season 2, I think I would be pretty happy with that, and if Robert goes in the field as Mecha Man, I think that's a cool way to switch out the roles.
Visi, of course, gets a lot of attention in each episode, since her story arc is meant to represent the struggles that the entire Z-team is going through, and her endgame decision is the crux of how well we do in guiding the team to heroism or villainy. And of course, she makes the best jokes.
In the end, I think we can all agree that Season 2 cannot come fast enough, and I really hope we get to see more of Mandy's origin story, and how Visi's future endeavors as a hero will be challenged, even in ways that we can't think about yet. Thank you all for watching, and keep an eye out for more.